Absolutely nothing has kept my attention like motorcycles. It's categorically addictive, right? The freedom, the exhilaration, mindfulness, and connection both to the world around us and to ourselves. No matter how good you get at it, the more you realize how much better you want to get, and there's no peak. But on the other hand, it's a hassle, right? I mean, dealing with weather, the exposure to risk, the consequences of getting it wrong, and it can get expensive. I mean, just tires alone. My gosh, I never want to know how much money I've spent on tires in my lifetime. I mean, I'd probably be happily retired in Barbados or something were it not for buying motorcycle tires. But I was thinking about this the other day. How do we get the most out of the experience? I mean, I've made so many bad choices that took more away from the experience than added to it. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. 5 things that make the whole motorcycle experience better that I wish I had figured out sooner. Number 1, who to take advice from. Now, when I was starting out, finding other riders, let alone other riders to take advice from, was not at all easy. Now it's quite the opposite. I mean, with social media, there's no shortage of riding advice. And despite how good it may sound on the surface, most of it's not very good advice and could even get you hurt, especially with the rash of AI slop bot channels cropping up all over YouTube. You see, back in my day, if I wanted any motorcycle knowledge, my only choice was a magazine. Now, if you're under the age of 30, magazines were these things made of paper that were sent to you in the mail once a month. They had pictures, kind of like Instagram, and articles, kind of like Reddit. The difference being most magazines were credible. They were staffed by professional journalists and very highly skilled and proficient writers. So the advice was largely pretty good, you know, kind of like what RevZilla is today. Like, you know they know what they're talking about. Nobody is arguing with Ari and Zach. But I remember one of the very first riding schools I took, and my instructor was riding this nappy old Gixxer that didn't have a single piece of bodywork that wasn't damaged in some way. And his leathers looked like he'd been dragged behind a pickup truck for 30 miles. And as he was teaching me how to improve my riding, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not sure I want to ride like this guy. I mean, this isn't what I'm looking for. And that's the point I want to make here. Choose your coaches. Be picky about who you listen to. I mean, do you really want to ride like the random influencer who's been riding for 2 years and is just parroting what they may have just heard somewhere else? They're not credible just because they have 1 million subscribers. And then on the flip side is the guy who's never crashed in 30 years, but only rides to Starbucks on warm Sunday mornings. So is he really the expert he claims to be? Listen, I love this sport, and I've always wanted to do it well. And to do it well takes effort and work. So don't waste time or energy trying to emulate anybody other than the folks at the top of this sport. And even then, explore and dig for a greater understanding. Be careful of hard and fast answers that don't allow for nuance. I mean, the correct answer to almost every motorcycle question should begin with, "It depends." And if you're interested in what I believe to be the best source of riding information, check out Champ School and their online programs, Champ U. It's online education developed by professionals. And because I'm a champion certified coach, if you use my coupon code FOCUS, F-O-C-U-S, you get a tidy discount on all of their offerings. Number 2, forget trail braking. Here's the problem with trail braking. At the top levels of this sport, it is implicitly understood exactly how and why it works and when to use it and to what levels. But back to the last point, the majority of riders still don't understand it. Even some high-level, well-respected riding coaches really don't know what it is. And even if they do, they tend to be pretty bad at explaining it. In other words, the concept of trail braking has become so contrived that it can be really hard to understand because it's really hard to parse out the good information from the bad. So let me go back again to when I was a new rider. Basic rider courses weren't really a thing. In fact, I'd probably been riding for almost 100,000 miles before I even took my first riding school. So nobody ever told me to do all my braking before the corner, and nobody ever told me to never brake in a corner, and nobody ever told me that you had to brake all the way to the apex. So for the most part, I just rode through corners the exact way I rode my bicycle or the exact way I drove my car. I mean, I raced bicycles and then mountain bikes when I was in college, right? So I already knew that the front brake worked better than the rear and that abruptness would land me on my head. So I slowed into corners until the bike was pointed out of the bend, and then I accelerated out. So here I am, I buy my very first sport bike, a 1991 FZR 600, complete with hot pink racing stripes. And straight away, I skipped my classes and rode up the local canyon on my new motorcycle. Coming down the other side, a pickup truck crossed into my lane, and I did what I did naturally. I added more front brake pressure, the radius of the corner tightened up, and while it scared the crap out of me, it also wasn't a big deal. But in my desire to improve, I started taking all of these riding courses, and I was told about trail braking and how it should never be done on the street, and if you ever have to brake in a corner, you're going too fast, and blah, blah, blah. You know, all the stuff you've heard too. So now here I am, a few years later, and I find myself in the exact same situation. But now I have all this newfound information, or more accurately, misinformation. Only this time, if the truck hadn't veered out of my lane at the last second, I probably would have ran right into it. So the controversy surrounding the term trail braking almost got me hurt when, before I knew better, it was a non-event. Listen, if you strip away the jargon and the names, trail braking is actually the simplest thing in the world. You know, slow down into turns. I mean, you've been doing it your whole life in every other vehicle you've ever driven or ridden. So just keep doing that. Number 3, ride happy and find your joy. Motorcycles are emotional. For most of us, it's not a practical thing. We do it for the joy, the freedom, or the pursuit of perfection, or the ability to wander off the beaten path. Don't lose sight of what drew you here. From the beginning, I was always far more interested in sporty bikes, but this is America, and everyone I knew was riding big chrome-laden Rolling Thunder cruisers, highway pegs and floorboards and giant windscreens. So what did I do? I went and bought myself a massive 45-degree air-cooled V-twin. And you know what? I hated it. I hated it. It wasn't fun. Now, I'm certainly not saying that the cruisers are the wrong choice, but they were the wrong choice for me. Just like a sporty or adventure bike may be wrong for you, and not only is that okay, that's 100% the point. So a lot of my friends love racing, but I don't. I mean, I love watching racing, but I don't like racing myself. But I do love track days. I mean, I really don't need to compare myself to others. If I want to wick it up, I do. And if I'm not feeling it, I can bring the pace back down. There's no pressure to be faster than the rider in front of me. But that's just me. My true love is wandering the roads less traveled, looking for ways to connect as many twists and turns between here and there as possible. The point is, motorcycles and riding is an emotional thing as much as anything. Listen to your heart and find what you love about it, and don't let anyone dissuade you from that. Find your joy, ride happy. I mean, if you love going breakneck speeds, and if you're dragging knees on public roads and timing yourself over your favorite section of corners, you're wrong. Get your ass off public roads and get onto a track so you can really savor that experience. And if you like meandering, stop trying to keep up with your buddies and do your own thing. If you want to stop at the roadside fruit stand or plod your way up dirt roads to find a remote fishing hole, do it. Be selfish, ride for you. Just don't be a dick and terrorize other highway users for your selfish enjoyment. I mean, I'm not trying to judge, but that's just not cool. And that behavior may be one of the biggest risks to the future of this sport. But that's probably a topic for another video. Number 4, early morning. Now, I suspect this one may come with some groans. You see, modern society wants you to be a night owl. 9 p.m. dinners and late night talk shows, winding down after a stressful day at work. But here comes the weekend, and what do we want to do more than anything else? That's right, get up with the sun and ride an hour to breakfast. mornings. I mean, it took me a long time to learn this, but mornings are for motorcycles. The air is still and crisp, so you can wear your favorite riding jacket without sweating your face off. And the low golden light makes it feel like the world's been lit with candles just for you. It's magic, it's peaceful. There's no other way to describe the absolute joy of riding early in the morning. I mean, go to your favorite breakfast place for pancakes or stop at the top of your favorite road and watch the world slowly come alive. Listen, the best part is the roads tend to be practically deserted. The riding is so much more relaxing. Sure, the deer and wildlife may be more active early in the morning, but let's be honest here. Even the most skittish deer is more predictable than a morning commuter or a soccer mom rushing to get the kiddos to dance practice. And then the other thing is you can be done before the afternoon heat kicks in and everyone else is up and rushing off driving and texting to do whatever thing it is they need to do. Steal away the morning and you steal the best riding the day has to offer. Sacrifice your evenings and you'll gain the benefits of solitary, uninterrupted riding when the world is at its best. Number 5, spend money on what improves the experience. Now, we've already touched on how expensive this sport can be, and this took me too long to really figure out. But only spend money on things that actually improve the experience. Cosmetics, chrome, paint, a flash carbon fiber pipe, some clever electrical doodad strapped to your handlebars. They rarely improve the riding experience. Now, everyone's answer to this question is probably going to be a little bit different, but for me, things that make the experience better are, and I'm going to rush through these really quickly, but top quality gear, especially the helmet. I mean, compare a properly fitted helmet to one that's too big or too small. And then earplugs. I never ride without them. Top quality tires, right? Ergonomic tweaks like different handlebar clip-ons with better angles for your wrists, a better seat, adjustable rear sets, or even highway pegs if you're a cruiser rider. And then GPS and communication systems. We're sponsored by Cardo, and I'll put a coupon code down in the description if you're interested in what I think is the best comm systems available on the market. But there's so many nice things that come from comms, like turn-by-turn voice instructions piped into your helmet so you don't even have to look down, music for the boring slogs, or witty banter with your riding buddies. And then for the bike, the best possible upgrade for any sporty bike is lighter forged wheels, and then suspension upgrades. Get the correct springs for you. And then dyno tuning so you get super crisp throttle response. I mean, I don't think loud exhausts have improved the riding experience. I mean, they're really fun for the first few rides, and then you get used to it, and then they kind of start to become annoying. So instead, save that cash and buy the slightly stickier tires and replace them more often. Besides, I mean, I prefer the stealth of OEM exhausts, if you know what I mean. So there we have it. 5 simple things that make the whole motorcycle ownership experience better. What did I miss? Do you have a tip that made riding better for you? I want to know about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a like and consider subscribing or becoming a channel member to help us keep everything out from behind a paywall. We also have a monthly email newsletter that I've just launched down in the description if you want even more awesome free content. If you like this video, I suspect you'll also get a kick out of this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you over there.